Hey everyone, it's AC here, and welcome to the Heine Homeboys episode. And this week's episode, we'll be having none other than Brother Chad York.
Yes, as if you can tell already, we are in a different location. We are at Noble Park in Paducah right now. Lucky enough, the rain has started to cool down a little bit, so we're able to do it today, thankfully. But
Praise
it's
the Lord.
episode number 8, right?
I think it's 9.
Episode 9, okay. Episode number 9. Let's just get started. So, Trad, tell everyone a little bit about yourself if they don't already know who you are.
Well, my name's Trad York,
All right.
and as a matter of fact, I liked having it right here at Noble Park because this is my old stomping grounds. I grew up about a mile as the crow flies across that way. This was my playground as a kid growing up, and so this brings back a lot of memories. The Noble Park Pond is just right over there, and did a lot of fishing. Played baseball right behind me here at the parks, and just a lot of memories here growing up. So it's a joy to be here with the Heine, what do you call it? The
Heine Homeboys.
Homeboys, and they have gone mobile, and so they are growing. And so I want to encourage you too to follow them always and share it. So
Yeah, and the videos are my YouTube channel, so if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's AC Legal. If you want to know where Heine Homeboy, you can watch them. Facebook Live or my YouTube.
there you go.
Yeah.
So go follow them there. So
Right.
yeah, I just grew up here, and so this is my home, and so this is great surroundings for me.
All right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Alright, so what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months or in recent memory?
Wow, $100 or less that has impacted my life most. Oh, that's a tough question. I guess probably just the little things of spending, like going out to eat with my wife. Those are times that impact me most. Just being able to, I guess the thing that would impact me is one of the things we like to do is a lot of times on Friday nights during the summer, we go to Michael's and we will get, I would say about $12, $15 worth of a meal.
Okay.
And we will go down to the riverfront and we will sit there and we will eat and talk. And so those times are probably the most impactful for me, just spending quality time with her with that. So,
Michael's Pizza sounds good right
yeah,
now.
oh, it's great.
Yeah. All right. So, how is a failure or apparent failure set you up for later success in life? Do you have a favorite failure?
Oh, yeah, man, I've got a lot of failures. I guess probably one that stands out to me is when my son was in middle school and he was playing basketball. I guess I was into it more than him. And so I was kind of yelling at him to, hey, get on defense. We need you to pick it up and all of this. And so we get in the car and he looks at me and he said, Dad, I've got 3 coaches already. I don't need another one. And that really hit me hard that night. And so I told him the next day, I said, you know, you're absolutely right. I just want to be your dad. I don't want to be your coach. And I thanked him for just kind of giving me a loving, simple reminder that, hey, I just need you to be a fan. And so that was, I guess that was huge in my life.
Man, that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any quotes you think of often or you live your life by?
He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose.
Great one, mate.
And so that quote comes from Jim Elliot,
Okay.
and who is a missionary, and that's a quote that that's one quote that I stick by. And another one is you live your life for the one who died for you.
Great. Good
And
idea.
so you live your life for Jesus. And so those are simple reminders that I remind myself often. So yeah, great question.
Okay.
All right. So, what is your greatest challenge as a pastor?
Oh, wow. I guess probably just going back over the last few years, dealing with COVID, and I guess just the challenge of trying to have a balance of different people's thoughts and opinions and taking everything into consideration. And I guess too, the challenge is now, that's the first time probably any pastor that I know of has kind of been through a pandemic, didn't know exactly what was going to happen or go on, and how do we continue sharing the gospel and ministering, and so now I guess the greatest challenge is getting people back to where they were, or or even further. I think God was teaching us something in all of that. So I think there's a great lesson learned, and God's still teaching us in it. So I think that's a great challenge.
Right.
And another challenge is getting everyone in the church to serve, not just some, and getting everyone to serve in the church is a great challenge.
Okay.
It's a good challenge.
Great. Who inspires you the most?
Oh man, I guess my Lord and Savior first, who is the one that always inspires me to continue on pressing on. My wife, my kids, my grandkids. I mean, there's a bunch of people who inspire me. Other pastors, I guess probably a pastor that I go to often is Ricky Cunningham and Jack Russell. Those two guys right there have been really instrumental in my spiritual growth, and when I go through a difficult time, I call them and talk to them, so to give wisdom. So yeah, they inspire me.
That's great.
Yeah. So what is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've made? And it could be investment of money, time, or was the other one? Energy.
It can't be money, because I didn't do well in that at the beginning ages. I'm doing better in that in the older. When I was younger, I liked to spend. So, but as you get older, you realize, well, I wish I wouldn't have. So I guess probably the greatest investment for me would be the investment of my marriage, and working to always better my marriage, and being a better dad, and so investing in my kids and in my grandkids, and I can't do that without investing first in the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And so when you invest in the kingdom of God, then it pours over into your investment to your spouse, to your children, to your grandkids, to your church, and everything else. So I guess that's the greatest investments.
How often do you talk to your family?
Every day, often throughout the day. So first of all, my son, I talk to him about, I would say I would in some way talk to him about every day, or at least every other day. My daughter, she calls me at 7 in the morning, or 7:02. And then she'll text me through the day, and then she'll call me at 3:05 when she gets out of school, just to check on me and see how I'm doing, and then we talk at night. So I talk to them all the time.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So
And my brother, I talk to him multiple times. So if Troy's watching,
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
We
Welcome
call
to
him
Facebook
Goose.
Live.
We call him Goose.
Okay.
You know, from Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's Top Gun Goose. So remember
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Well, I just think drawing closer to the Lord, and the more you know about God, the more you learn about yourself, and the more He reveals to yourself. So I think that as you grow in Him, your attitude changes more and more because you're becoming more like Him, and so I would say that.
Okay.
Okay, so what is an unusual habit or absurd thing that you love?
What is an unusual? Read
Habit
that
What an
again.
absurd thing you love. And read it again.
Okay, what is an unusual habit or absurd thing you love?
An unusual habit. This is going to be crazy. Okay. So I have a little thing called OCD,
Oh, that's
and
normal.
so every night I check the doors, I check the stove, I put my hands on the stove to make sure it's not on, even when you see it's off. So those are unusual habits that I have. So I kind of have a routine that I go through every night. So anyway,
Yeah.
we still on live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was making
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I check the stoves and all of that. So yeah.
All right.
And if I get in bed and I hadn't done that, and I get up and I have to go do it.
Okay,
so
Chad.
is that unusual? That's an unusual
It is
habit.
unusual.
Okay.
Man. It
All right.
is.
So if you guys have any questions for Trad, let us know in the live feed below because we'll be answering them until the live stream is over. So we still have plenty to go, but if you think of something, just write it down. All right. So what are some bad recommendations you hear in your professional area of expertise?
What are some bad recommendations? Yeah, I guess to seek counsel outside of Scripture. I think that is a bad recommendation. I think the very first place that we should seek counsel is in the Scriptures. And I think that in the Scriptures is where we will get the best advice and the best counsel. God's counsel is always the best. And so I would say that's the best counsel that we can get. The worst counsel is going to the world and trying to seek counsel from them, because what kind of counsel can they give you outside of the world's counsel? And so you can see all kinds of self-help books out there, how to help your marriage, how to do all this, but all you have to do is go to the book, and that's the Bible.
What advice would you give to a smart-driven college student about to enter the real world? What advice should they ignore?
College student who's entering the real world.
Okay.
Hang in there for one. And let me just say to a college student who's entering the world, who's just graduated, congratulations on accomplishing a huge achievement to graduate and going into the world. I would just say that I guess my advice to you is life is going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Make sure you surround yourself with good people that's going to give you right counsel.
Yeah.
And I think probably one of the greatest things that I wish somebody would have taught me early on was to invest some money for later on. I wasn't real good with money early on. And so I would encourage people to make sure that you listen to Dave Ramsey, to make sure that you don't go into debt. When you go into debt, you become a slave to the debtor. And when you become a slave to the debtor, then that begins to rule you, and it begins to dictate what you do and what you can't do. And so I would encourage you right off to make sure that you live within your means. We see so many students today wanting to live where their parents are and where they come out of, and they didn't realize that their parents started out probably in a very small house, and it took them a while to get there. And so a lot of times in the new generation, we want to have it all right now, and they don't realize that it takes time. And so make sure you start small and build up and all of that. So I guess that's some advice, and to make sure you stay close to the Lord and seek His wisdom.
All right, it's good stuff right there. All right, so next question is, who turned out to be the best player you've seen at the Marshall County Hoop Fest?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, me. I guess the best player that I saw at the Hoop Fest was Monte Ellis.
Okay.
He put on a show. There has been so many through the years. I believe I saw Kevin Durant. I'm trying to think of. I saw Miles Bridges. I saw Andrew Wiggins. I actually got a chance to sit down with Andrew and talk to Andrew. He's doing great. So there's so many. I just can't. There's so many. But I guess the spectacular moment or game was Monte Ellis, and I can't remember how many points he
jumped
scored.
40. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was amazing. So.
Yeah.
All right. So when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do?
Hey. Well, that happens often because there's all kinds of distractions that go on, and so I guess I like to get away. I like to mow.
That's
I like to
right.
mow. So I get on my mower, I put my headphones in, I listen to worship music, or I listen to podcasts and listen to sermons. I guess one of the greatest people that I like to listen to. Who do y'all think it is that I like to listen to preach?
Billy Graham.
And I do like him.
No idea.
Alistair Begg. I
Okay,
like to
yeah, I
listen to
would've guessed
Alistair
that.
Begg.
Alistair
And so I'll put my headphones in and listen to sermons, or I'll listen to worship music. Getting out there mowing, it helps me with my sermon preparation too, because there's times I'll mow and I'll have a sermon thought, I'll stop and write it in my notes in my phone, or I just get out there and worship and mow. So I enjoy that.
Okay. Yep. All right. What player surprised you the most with their lack of NBA success that you saw at the Hoop Fest?
Oh, lack of success. Oh man, I don't know. I got to think about that one for a little bit. Huh?
I have one in mind.
Who do you have in mind?
Okay. I forgot his name again, but he played for Kansas and then he transferred. He didn't start in Kansas. Oh yeah, he started in Kansas, then he transferred, and then he played.
Yeah, I know you're
Malik
talking.
Newman.
Yeah, Malik Newman.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I like that one. So I'll go with Malik Newman too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What country would you love to visit?
What country would I love to visit? Well, another fear of mine is flying.
Okay.
So I'm not a big going out of the country type of guy, but if I did, I think I would like to visit Japan.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Just because I like the Karate Kid, and I loved it when they went over to Japan, and so I'm a huge Karate Kid fan. I'm a huge Top Gun fan. So yeah, I would like to visit Japan.
Okay. All right. So another question: do you still feel like Austin Rivers is better than Anthony Davis?
You got that from your dad.
Yep.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, Kyle. Forgive me for that one. Please let that one go. No, Anthony Davis is great. I just think that within Anthony Davis and the Lakers organization, there's just too many people there, and I really think they need to rebuild. So that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so any favorite musical artist at the moment?
Any what now?
Favorite musical artist at the moment?
Let me see that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite singer at the moment?
What favorite musical artist?
Yeah.
I like Carrie Job. Carrie Job is probably one of my favorites. Lauren Daigle's one of my favorites.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going blank on Carrie Job's husband's name.
Cody Carnes.
Cody Carnes. I like Cody Carnes, my favorite. So I guess also going back to my other days, if you're going outside of Christian music, oh man, I like old country, a little bit of old country.
Way better than today's stuff.
Yeah, I like old country. I like bluegrass. Yeah, so you like bluegrass?
I do like Bill
Yeah.
Monroe stuff.
Yeah.
Bill Monroe and the Osborne brothers, they're great.
Yeah. So if you didn't know that about me, that's what you know about me now. So yeah.
You learned a fact from Trey.
There you go.
Great.
Yeah, and we got a live question, and it was a question. I don't know if it was like a local restaurant, but the question was, "What is your favorite restaurant?"
Oh, I like them all. I guess my favorite restaurant. What's according? Well, if we go for an appetizer, my favorite restaurant would be Rafferty's because I love cheese fries, or it would be Outback. But I guess my favorite restaurant all around would be Longhorn. So if you want to get me a gift card, Longhorn would be a great place for to get it. So I like that. And while we're speaking, I have a gift card for these two guys to be able to go to Culver's and get lunch sometime. So for all their hard work, who do I give this to? And y'all can share it.
Yeah.
All right. So Culver's, I
yes.
wanted y'all to know. So
Thank you, Trey.
yeah. And I'm just so happy that I am y'all's second favorite pastor.
That's
I
great.
mean, that just blesses me beyond measure. There's a lot of great pastors out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all for that.
You know,
Is he still number 2 AC or is he number 1 now? He
he's
fluctuate all the
he's
I got
time.
two.
Culver's, man. Culver's.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's great.
So what
He's
am I
considering
today?
it.
You're still 2.
All right, there you go.
You were number 1 a few weeks ago. So.
Fluctuate. Who do I fluctuate between?
I don't know, between Cliff and Nathan and Cliff, I guess.
Well, that's 3.
So you're telling me he's been 3 before? I didn't know that.
I didn't never know I was 3.
I'm saying like Nathan and Cliff was
Oh, okay,
more.
okay. Oh, I got you.
Oh.
I got you. So I got you. So Nathan is 1, or Cliff is 1,
I think
and then at
Nathan-
one of them they're 1.5 at
No,
one time.
That's that's right, Chad.
Yeah.
I love them both. I love them
love
both.
you, man.
Yeah, thanks for the Culvers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad. All right. So favorite hobbies or pastimes?
I'll tell you what I really enjoy doing. I'm not a huge fisherman, even though I used to fish at Noble Park. I guess my pastime is my hobby is a ministry, and that ministry is being a chaplain
Okay.
to the McCracken County, Marshall County, Benton PD, and a chaplain to all first responders. That's what I love to do in my pastime is going and spending time with them and getting to know them, and so yeah, that's my hobby. I enjoy doing that.
That's great.
That's good. All right. Next question is, what fact about you would just surprise many of your acquaintances?
What fact about me?
Yep.
Oh man. Well, I guess that I like to travel, but I don't like to travel by airplane. And so I would love to drive, but I just don't like to fly. And I guess another fact is that you may not know this about me, but I hate elevators. And so I'm paranoid of elevators. I do everything I can to stay off of elevators. But if I have to get on one, I close my eyes, breathe, and wait till I get there. So
And talk to God. That's great.
and talk to God a whole lot, right?
Right, man.
So you always request a hotel room on the first floor.
I try to, or the 3rd floor, at least where I know I can do steps where I won't have a heart attack. So
Okay.
yeah, so I try to get 3rd floor, 4th floor, or below where I can.
Okay.
All right. So favorite author.
Ooh, my favorite author. I like John Piper. He's one of my favorite authors. R.C. Sproul
Okay, I've never heard.
is one of my favorite authors. Knowing God by Dan DeHaan is one of my favorite authors. Elizabeth Elliot, who wrote Through the Gates of Splendor, is one of my favorite authors. Nathan Joyce is one of my favorite authors in his book. You know what his book is called?
He has
It's one of the most worthless books I've ever read.
Oh, it's one of the most worthless books.
He released a new book last year.
So
late last
Nathan
year.
Joyce is one of my. I know him.
Hey, brother
I
Chad,
actually
Nathan
know
Joyce.
him. Yeah. So go ahead.
Hey, brother Nathan. We'll be preaching on. Okay.
Nathan tells me he runs a lot, but when I drive by and see him, he's normally walking, adjusting his ear thing, So I thought he ran, but he walks a lot too.
Might see him.
May see him going up and down here with Eric Jumbo.
Okay.
I hope we see him.
No,
in there.
it's too rainy for him.
Oh, is it too rainy for him today?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. They don't run in the rain.
I don't know.
Just
Okay.
sunshine and 65-degree weather, right?
I guess so.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
next, you can go.
okay, if you give 3 pieces of advice to college-age adults, what would those pieces of advice be?
3 pieces of advice to college-age adults. I guess it would be to follow Jesus, number 1, and get involved in a campus ministry, campus outreach, BCM. Get involved and serve. Study hard, work hard. Life doesn't come easy, and prepare yourself for making a living one day. And I guess I would add another one. The happiest people on the face of the earth, it's been proven, are people who serve, not people who want. And so people who want are normally the unhappiest people on the face of the earth. People who serve are the happiest people on the face of the earth. So I would always look to be the hands and feet of Christ. Look for areas to serve in your community, at your church, and other places. So that's a piece of advice. And get connected to the local body.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So, what are 5 books you'd recommend to 18 to 25?
5 books. Desiring God is one of them. Let the Nations Be Glad by John Piper is one of them. Through the Gates of Splendor by Elizabeth Elliot. Dan DeHaan, The God You Can Know is one of them. And I like 12 Ordinary Men by John MacArthur, talking about the disciples. So those are some books that I would recommend. And then if you're going to get a theological book, I would go for Wayne Grudem's Systematic Theology.
So what are 1 to 3 books that have greatly influenced your life?
That have greatly influenced my life.
Yes.
Well, another one's Out of the Salt Shaker by Rebecca Pippert. It's talking about evangelism and living our life as salt in the earth. And I guess another book that really impacted my life early would be John Piper's book, Let the Nations Be Glad. I'll tell you another series that's really good. It's by R.C. Sproul. And if you're just wanting to study the Bible and you have an overview of the Bible, it'd be Dust to Glory and Paul Washer had put me onto that. Dust to Glory by R.C. Sproul.
Okay. We're going to look at the live feed real quick and see if there are any more questions. If not, I have a few more for you.
Yeah, we have a couple more to ask and then the channel answer.
No. All right.
No questions.
Not yet.
What?
Yeah. So if there's something you've always wanted to ask him, now is the time.
You have 5 to 10 minutes to do so.
Or you can ask, I guess, and you can answer later.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Or comment down below on Facebook or text one of us.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, of all time.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's really a hard question. I guess Top Gun is going to be one of my favorite movies. I like the Karate Kids. I've mentioned that. I watch them a lot.
Looks like you're going to have to go to the movies next week because the Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. So those are some of my favorite movies.
All
right, Tread. I know you're a big Andy Griffith Show fan, and I know you like Gunsmoke too. So, what are your other favorite TV shows besides Andy Griffith Show and Gunsmoke?
Oh, I like Leave It to Beaver.
Okay.
I watch Leave It to Beaver. I like Bonanza.
That's another great one.
I like Bonanza and some other TV shows. I love Chicago PD. We like SWAT. So
you like Matlock?
No.
That's Andy Griffith was in Matlock in the 80s and 90s.
No, I like the older ones. You talking about the older or newer Andys?
I'm talking about Matlock from the 80s and 90s. That's like Harry Mason.
I got another one. No, I like Happy Days too.
That's great, Ronnie.
Yeah, I like Happy Days. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are shows I like to watch. Good shows, clean shows.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I like those. I like those old shows.
Yeah, but fortunately the new ones today are not as good as they were in the 50s to the 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah.
They've gone from bad to worse in the last few decades.
All right. Next question is, what are some spiritual truths you found in movies?
Spiritual truths found in movies. Well, I'm going blank. I like Fireproof, and that spiritual truth in that movie is talking about there that lining your life up with the Lord will line your marriage up. And so I like Fireproof. That's one Cammy and I like to watch. I'm going blank on the one with it was all about prayer, about having the prayer closet. I forget the name of that movie. I'll think of it later, but in that movie, that lady had a prayer closet, and some of you all may be watching, you'll remember it, put it on there. I'm going blank. But she had a prayer closet, and she would write down her prayers, and she would write down prayer concerns, and she would go into that closet, and she would pray. And so I think that prayer is essential, And I think that we all need that in our life, to be intentional about praying. And not only just say, hey, I'll pray for you, but what about stopping and praying for them?
That's
You know,
good.
and so being intentional in our prayer.
Okay, so what spiritual truths can be gleaned from the Andy Griffith show?
Well, one of my favorites is just when Opie accidentally shot the bird.
Yeah,
And-
Opie and the Birdman.
Yeah,
In the first episode of season 4.
Yeah, and in that he shot the bird, and they had little ones in that, and it just showed that every life is has value, even whether some believe it, some don't, but I do, and so just has value, and to me that was a spiritual truth in it too, and I think how the father was teaching him about right from wrong and consequences to things that we do. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what's your favorite character from the Andy Griffith show?
Oh man, I like them all. I guess Ernest T. Bass
Okay.
is going to be one of my favorite characters. Mountain Wedding is one of my favorites.
The Briscoe Darling and Ernest T. Bass are in it.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite episodes. That and Loaded Goat is a good one too.
Well, Low Goat's probably number 1 or number 2 for me, and I like the Songfesters. I also like Goodbye Sheriff Taylor.
I love those shows. So, what's your favorite show?
My favorite show.
Any kind of show.
Oh, that's tough. 'Cause I've watched a lot of movies, but if I had to pick a favorite show, probably. God, that's tough. I haven't finished it yet, but I don't think I've finished season 1 yet. But I'd probably say Sopranos is probably my
Okay.
favorite show.
All right. What about you?
Well, it's on my head.
Me, I say Three Stooges or Andy Griffith show, but I also like Bonanza, Gunsmoke,
Okay.
Mallow, Maverick, all the old shows, and
He doesn't watch anything that's in color.
Okay. All right.
I like some color stuff like Matlock and Happy Days and a few others, but mainly 50s and 60s and early 70s stuff.
Okay. All
And
right.
someone put in the comments, was it War Room? Is that what it was?
War Room.
Yeah.
War Room.
Someone
Yeah,
put-
thank you. Yeah, that's it. War Room. That's a great show.
Yeah. So we got a couple questions from the live feed.
Okay.
One question was, what is your favorite vacation you've been on?
That would probably be, and it's kind of crazy because I flew. I guess it would be Key West, and my daughter-in-law wanted us to go to her. She got aunt and uncle that live down near Miami, and we went down there to Key West right before COVID hit in October. And I guess that was one of my favorite trips. I'd just never been down that far south, and we flew into Miami. We rented a van, and we just hung out in the Florida Keys for a week.
Okay.
So that's probably
Good.
one of my favorites.
Great.
Yeah,
That's great.
And you
Jay.
flew.
I flew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flew. I didn't like it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got another question. I just want to make sure I get it right. I'm going to go over here and read it. But Luann Lewis said, would you like to live in a small town like Mayberry?
Oh, I would love to live in a small town like Mayberry. I think it would be cool. I remember an episode where a guy come to town and he knew everybody and he didn't live there. So bless you.
Thank you, man.
And I hope the wind was blowing that way.
Yeah, it
So-
was. Yeah.
But I'd love to live in a small town like Mayberry, and yeah, it kind of reminds me back in the day. Paducah was a small town. It's kind of grown. I don't know very many people like I used to, but I love small town. Yeah, live in Calvert City now, and it's a small town. So
Okay, another question. You may not know the answer to this, but is the drive-in opening up this summer? Have you heard?
I've heard different stories on it. So as a drive-in, you asked the question, is drive-in? I've heard different stories on it, but I don't know. And so I hope it does. I hope that we can get some of those great cheeseburgers from the
Yes.
drive-in, and so
And great,
hopefully that happens.
great French fries, and,
Yeah.
and great popcorn in general, and hopefully better pizza.
Hey, and here's something else. I'm going back to my favorite restaurant. I guess in the summer it'd be Blues up at Aurora. So we love Blues, hamburger, fries, chocolate shake. Yeah,
Blues,
so
where's that?
it's in Aurora, up at the
Okay.
lake. It's Carhartt black deal, and so it's really good. So
Okay.
Well, AJ, next time we go to a lake, we should try.
you got to go to Blues. You got to go to Blues.
Sounds
We're gonna,
good.
we're gonna
Get you a
try.
cheeseburger, fries, and a chocolate shake.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
All right. So before we look one more time at the live chat, this will be the last question. And the last question is, what is something that you want to talk about or mention that you haven't talked about or mentioned?
Well, we've talked about a lot, but I guess if I'm going to talk about anything, I like to talk too. So I would just say, hey, go and follow these two guys. They love the Lord, and follow their page. And I know what they would want most out of you is to follow the Lord too.
Yeah.
And so
we encourage you to do
two
that.
great guys with a great family. I guess if we're going to close this out, just thank the Lord for everything that He's done for us. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and give thanks for everything. I guess another song that I love is "Give Thanks" with a grateful heart.
The Three Stooges
Yeah,
sang.
yeah.
The Three Stooges sang that in the late '50s.
Hey, there you go. So
I actually like that.
just
song.
before we close here, or if you watch us at some time, I want you to do one thing in the comments. I want you to give 2 or 3 things that you're thankful for, and give thanks to the Lord for those 2 or 3 things. So that's what you could do for us as you do that. Okay.
Do it again, AC. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're fine. Keep going, growing. Happy wiggling. See
All right,
you
see you
guys.
guys. Thanks
And
for
God
watching.
bless.
Yeah.
Happy wiggling, everyone.
All right. I'll look into live stream.